Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Anzio, writer scout. Check out VFP.football, where we elevate the underdogs of college and pro football. I'm honored to be joined by a 21 NFL draft underdog prospect. He's an All-American, All-Conference from Truman State, a defensive back, kick return specialist, special teamer, Lawrence Woods the third. Hey, man, welcome to the Victory Formation Podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. It's great to be here.
Excellent, man. You had some career over there at Truman State. But first,
It was it
let's
was
start at your
good.
roots, man. Um, you grew up in Missouri. What was it like growing up in Missouri, and how did that make you get into football?
Well, I grew up in Kinloch, Missouri. It's the first black town in Missouri, and it was a little rough. You know what I'm saying? Just because there was a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of people going separate ways as we divided and went to high school and middle school. But like for me, I always was into sports because it showed me an outlook and helped me get into. Cause I was a wrestler and I ran track, so I was a multi-sport athlete. So that helped me get into football, and then just went from there.
And what age was that?
I got into football around 6 years old.
6 years old. So coming into high school, you were
Yep.
already playing defensive back and everything.
Yep,
I
coming
would,
into high school, I played a little bit of running back and a little bit of, and mostly defensive back and special teams.
well, I'd imagine with that kick return, you were probably doing that pretty early as well, right?
Oh yeah, they definitely had me a kick returner, punt returner. They definitely loved me back there, showing my speed.
So coming out of high school, doing all that kick return, you didn't have a lot of recruiters.
I mean, I had some recruiters. It was just mostly 50%, so partial walk-ons, and I was just like, at the end of the day, if I can ball, I can ball, and no matter if this talent's gonna, I got the talent, so they're gonna find me wherever I go. So I feel like choosing Truman, it was a good academic choice, and also it was a good choice because I feel like I could go and showcase my skills on all levels of all phases of the football field.
Yeah, and you were able to play quite a bit at Truman State. Had quite a career over there. Um, yeah, tell me a little bit about your career at Truman State. I know that you started off right away. You got to play a little special teams your freshman year, and also had a few interceptions as well. But really, your career took off your sophomore season. So going from your freshman season to your sophomore season, tell me what it was like and how you took that leap like that.
Okay, so my freshman year, I was just a little gangly little freshman, 160 pounds. And it was just like, okay, I just want to get on the field. I just want to play. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people who don't get put at redshirt that freshman year. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going to make my way on special teams because I was showcasing my speed, showcasing my dedication, my hard work on the field and off the field. So I was like, okay. And I played in 9 out of 12 games, and I did pretty good. So then coming into that sophomore year, I was like, man, like, I need to gain some weight, and then I need to start getting better at corner and showcasing and going against better people. When I came back to St. Louis, I'll go to different trainers and go train with them, and that's how my game elevated that summer to that fall. It was just a big learning step and big curve for me because I did a lot better there coming into my sophomore year, returning four, 3 or 4 kick returns and then I had like 609 yards out of 12 kick returns. So I think I did pretty good. And the interceptions didn't come too well my sophomore year just because, I mean, I was a little more tired playing all phases, defense, kickoff return, punt return, kickoff, and gunner. So like I was a little bit more tired
So
when I played
sophomore,
like
you started
defense, but
playing.
I feel like
Yeah.
it was good. It was a good. I think it was a good trade off between kick returner and defensive back.
So you got to start at sophomore. You got to start at defensive back during your sophomore season.
I started during the end of my freshman year because one of my guys he was a senior, so he wasn't in the game no more with us mentally. He wasn't there. So my coach he started rotating me and another freshman, and then basically we would start either or me and him would start each game. It would just rotate.
And was that nickel or were you outside?
It was a little bit of both. We they had me mostly at nickel just because I was faster, and the other guy was he was a little stronger than me, so they had me inside playing nickel against a lot of faster, stronger, like a lot of faster, shiftier receivers. And then I made my way to outside going into my sophomore year.
And did you play for the same defensive coordinator the whole time?
Yep, I had my same defensive coordinator. He was a great guy. He helped me a lot.
Beautiful. So you really got to get used to a system and see guys come and go. Uh, you played. Did you play? Did you play it outside and inside? Did you play any safety?
I played a little safety. I had a couple blitzes. Had 2 sacks throughout my career, but we didn't start blitzing until the end of my career, going into like my end of sophomore junior year. We just started blitzing because years before that, my coach didn't really trust the corners because they're blitzing, they lose their assignment or they do some out of off the wall stuff. So he really didn't trust corners blitzing much more. So he put me in there. He was like, okay, for practice a couple weeks. He didn't run it in the games. Then he's like, okay, we're gonna do it. And I went in, got me a sack against Missouri S&T, a very good sack because it was we was tied up 33-34, and there was third down, and it turned the possession of the ball.
Beautiful, man. And so you were pretty much you tore it up your sophomore season, and you came back your junior season. You were killing it as well, but you had your injury. The fourth game, I guess it was of your junior season. What was it? A meniscus injury.
Yeah,
Uh,
ACL partial meniscus.
so tell me how that recovery was, and something you learned about yourself during the recovery time.
I mean, honestly, the recovery is very hard just because that's when right in the midst of COVID hit, and that was like we couldn't do nothing football wise, couldn't even go to the trainer. So like it was really up to me to like help myself get back to where I wanted to be at. I had to go. It was really just hard work and just setting myself in dedication, going to the field every day, doing my drills. Even though I have nobody go out there with me, just go out there and just do it. Really just had to tell myself, you know what I'm saying, I want to do better and I want to be better. I want to go back to being 100%. And something I really learned is probably you got to be hard on yourself sometimes. Sometimes you're not doing what you need to do. You got to be hard on yourself. You got to kick yourself in the butt because ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
And how long did it take you, or when you got back to the doctor, how did they say the injury looked?
They said it looked better than before. They said 11 months out. That's when I had my last doctor visit, and I hadn't seen no trainer probably in like 4 or 5 months since then. So it was. They said, man, you did great rehabbing it by yourself. Just little things we can work on. Just a little bit of range of motion that I had to work on, but other than that, they was like, man, you did excellent.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear. And then you came out on a tear your senior season. Now, was that a full year this senior season?
Yeah.
You guys didn't miss any.
Well, this senior season it got canceled because of COVID.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I figured. So you were getting ready to have probably your best season yet. So you did all that in your sophomore and junior season. The All American, All Regional, Wow, man, that's pretty impressive. I know a lot of you guys got to do a lot with whatever you got. And I know your senior or was you said I guess was that your best game your junior season? You said was against Drake, and you
Yep,
had
against Drake.
220 yards. That kick return yards, 220.
No, Drake was. I had a kick return for 98, and then my sophomore season was against McKendree. I had 220 yards. I had
Wow,
190, and that was kick return yards, 2 kick returns for touchdowns, and then I had an interception for about like 30 yards, 30, 40 yards.
wow, that's impressive, man. And you
Yeah, I
just
was
had your
three,
pro
three,
day.
three. I was 3 yards shot of breaking the in-game record for GLVC, most yards in the game.
Beautiful. That's a great thing to have, man, and set yourself apart from some of the other kick returners and defensive backs. There's a lot of defensive backs, but kick returners with your type of elusive speed and quickness, that is rare. And speaking of which, you just came off your pro day, had some pretty impressive work, 36 and a half vertical. You ran an official 4.48, 10.4 broad jump, 13 on the bench. Tell me what your training was like leading up to the pro day, and where was an area that you feel you did really good.
Okay, so leading up to my pro day, before I went to Florida, I was training by myself. I was just doing my own workouts, and I was just getting in as I could within in the weight room at my university. Then I went to Boca Raton, Florida, and I was training in Johnny O's gymnasium. And my trainer was Johnny Tedero, pro train. It was pretty good. Really, something that I really feel like that I excelled in is probably my bench, because I felt like coming into my workouts, coming into before I started training for my pro day, I feel like that was my weak suit. I wasn't strong enough to fit in with a lot of these cornerbacks. But as I progressed throughout my training, I felt like 13 to 15 was a solid number. And then I had a little abdomen issue, but like
Yeah,
it wasn't a big deal when my pro day came about. So 13 was my set number that I wanted to go, and I hit 13. I mean, I clicked the rack a couple times, but I'm still happy with the number I had.
absolutely. And is that an area that you continue to work on?
Oh yeah, definitely. I continue to work on arms and legs every day, just because being a cornerback, you got to be able to punch and pull all the time, and got to be able to have a good back pedal smooth, the hips.
In training for the drills, did you do a lot of the drills?
Yeah, so well for my pro day it was slippery outside, so the scouts told me that it wasn't we shouldn't do them just to prevent injury. So we didn't do any of the like defensive back drills, but I was training down in Florida with All Eyes DB Camp and Chad Wilson Jr. I was down in Florida training with him, and he had got me a lot better just in the couple weeks that he had me. I think that my fluidness in my hips and my fluidness in my feet got a lot better.
Yeah, that's something I definitely noticed, man. You got those quick feet, and you just look very smooth. Um, Tell me a little bit about how do you stay mentally sharp during this difficult time with the pandemic and having to get ready for your pro day and all the different pressures? How do you keep your mentals in shape?
Really, I just think back about all the times where I was in a bad situation growing up. I just that helps me push forward, and all the times that when I look at all the stuff that's going on right now, it just helps me push forward. And like really, it's all a mental game. You know what I'm saying? Like even the pro day before even I did it, I feel like I already executed everything that I needed to do before I even went out there the day that I did it on the day I did it. So I was like, it wasn't no point to be all stressed and be all tense because I didn't already executed every day of my workouts, my 4 to 6 weeks that I had of training. I feel like I did executed those days. So I was like, I didn't already put in the work. Ain't no reason to come out here stressed and you know what I'm saying, scared to go do what I need to do. I've been doing this all my life playing corner, playing football. So it was just another day to me.
And do you watch a lot of film study, not just leading up to the game, but in general?
Yeah, like in general, like so a typical day for me, a typical week for me watching film would be Sundays we'll start watching film on the other opposing team that we had. And usually we'll have like just look over their basics and what their tendencies. But like I would take it in depth when I got home and just look at it just to see like what receiver I was covering, because usually I would be covering the number one receiver they had on the team. So I would go in, look at his tendencies, and look what he likes to do, especially when he's running his routes, like his head fakes or how he runs, or when he's not getting the ball to just keep me on what I need to do. And then Mondays, going into Mondays, we wouldn't have practice, but I would just go over everything and just look at special teams, look at their defense, look at their offense, and see how can we capitalize as a team, not necessarily looking at what how can I capitalize on that day. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I would look more into like, okay, individual, like what can I do? Like I know this is my gap on special teams where I need to be or where I need to run. Who's going to be there? How do they come? Are they real aggressive? Or they just short stepping it? Or are they just trying to read? So there's a lot of things that I went into when I was watching film uh, to dissect and look at the other team to make sure that I could have a successful day.
And is there any NFL players that you watch or break down film on?
Oh yeah, well, my favorite NFL player, he's a little older, but out of the league now. But Devin Hester, I watch him a lot
Oh
because
yeah.
just we have a lot of positions, we got a lot of stuff, and the stuff the same. And I feel like he made his way using special teams, and then he started his career on to other things. So like I feel like me and him should have a lot of things in common. And I watch his film and break it down a lot. And then also a corner that I like to watch is Kenny Moore. He's a good undersized corner, 5'9", 5'10", 185, 190. So I really feel like we got similar game together too.
Yeah, you got to be scrappy to be, 5'8", 5'9", playing in the NFL. I love those
Yep.
guys. You need them. You need them with the wide receivers now. You got those mismatches, and the big guys have trouble covering them. But with that being said,
Oh yeah.
is there any defensive scheme in the NFL you feel like you would fit perfectly?
A defense scheme, I feel like I fit perfectly. I say I'm more of a zone technique corner. Like,
Mm,
no, I'm not shying away from man, but we played a lot of zone in my school. It was a 4-2-5 defense, so it was a lot of zone, a lot of cover four, cover three. We went in man sometimes, but we mostly was a cover three, cover four team. So I feel like a good scheme I fit with was probably the Colts, the Saints, and probably the Lions. It's one of the couple of those teams like they've really focused on zone coverages.
absolutely. And with so many DBs uh, coming out of the draft for the NFL, CFL, tell the GMs, the scouts, coaches, why they should take Lawrence Woods and bring him into a camp or in for a tryout.
I really feel like my versatility, being able to play all five phases of special teams, brings a lot to the table because a lot of these corners they only can play corner. They can't play special teams. Their hips too stiff, or they just not mentally built for special teams. Special teams are a whole different. It's a whole different ball game with playing offense and defense, and it really wins you the game.
Absolutely. And you are also team captain as well. Why do you feel you're a good leader? And what do you think your teammates would say about you in that leadership role?
I feel like I'm a good leader because at the end of the day, I'm gonna listen. No matter if it's right or wrong, I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna decipher what I need to know. I ain't gonna talk back, and I'm gonna just you know what I'm saying go by the rule book and let people know. Look, hey, this what it is, what it ain't, and just make it simplified. You know what I'm saying, and simplify because all that cluster, you know what I'm saying, telling people this, and that, and having all that everybody thinking, that's what messed people up. People start thinking too much, and that's when people start going slow. Just react and go. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm a good leader just because I stand up for everybody on the team. I like to talk to everybody on the team, no matter if you starting or if you sitting on the bench all the whole game. I like to talk to everybody and I like to get a connection to everybody because it's a good thing to have and it's just a brotherhood. I think that's why
Yeah.
they chose me as team captain because I made everybody felt welcome.
It's very important. I mean, you never know where somebody's going to be, or you never know where somebody's at. Their head could be somewhere. They're real depressed, going through something right now, and they don't need another guy with a big ego telling them how to do this, telling them how to do that. You lead by example, and you try to give encouragement, and you let these guys know that you know them by name, and that's important. And that goes for coaches too, as well. You
Yep.
see older coaches, and you think, oh, this guy, he doesn't need a compliment. Everybody appreciates a compliment. Everybody appreciates a good word here and there. I don't care
Oh
how
yeah,
hard they are.
definitely.
They'll know if you're pandering or bullshitting. But a good honest, when they know that's the type of person you are, that's a good thing, man. And I think you bring a lot to an NFL team or CFL club, and I hope you get that opportunity. I think you will. You want to tell everybody where you can find you on social media? Let them know.
Yeah, definitely. On Instagram, you can find me at Instagram, Twitter. You can find me at three underscores LAW3.
Beautiful. And I'll link everything up, your pro day, your film, the interview, and I'll put you out there. And man, good luck, man. Great job on your pro day. Great career. And look forward to seeing you with the a team soon, man.
All right, thanks, Matt. Good talking
All
to
right.
you.
Thanks, man. Lawrence Woods. Check him out. 21 NFL draft underdog.